Death arrived in my driveway.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
A tree trimming company backed the truck into my driveway and delivered a big, heaping, steaming pile of dead and dying remnants of trees and shrubs that, well, they were in their way.
I don't blame them. They did what they needed to do.
They needed to clear the power lines. They needed to remove parts of that living vegetation to protect the electric grid and provide safe access to the power lines. So they cut down limbs, branches, and sometimes entire trees. And they shoved it all into a chipper and shredded the greens and browns into mulch.
Now it's mine, and I need to spread all that dead wood around my yard. It's gonna take me a minute.
While I scooped up decaying pieces and parts of the recently severed organic material and spread it around my garden, I started to think about the deeper story. I imagined the trees flowing in the wind, and their life cycle of putting on new leaves, growing, then fading, and dropping their leaves or branches to the forest floor. And the more I contemplated the dying leaves falling and the tree branches removed with chainsaws, the more I wondered, are we looking at the phrase from dusk to dust all wrong?
Well, there goes that banana.
Is the death of dust really where it all ends? Am I really spreading the death of dust back into my garden?
More on that coming up. When mulch is used correctly, it helps to control moisture, temperature, weeds, and erosion. It provides food for plants, food for bugs, food for worms, and food for microbiology. It also provides habitat spaces for a diverse number of living creatures. It's full of life, it feeds life, and it protects life. By definition, mulch is a protective layer on top of the soil, used to help control erosion, moisture, temperature, or weeds. It is typically, but not always, a biodegradable organic material that can enrich the soil as it breaks down. Common forms of mulch include wood chips, leaves, brown and green, compost, cardboard, shredded and in sheets, grass clippings, hay, straw, rocks or gravel, tarps, plastic, or sheets of biodegradable cornstarch that look like plastic.
For today, I'm looking at organic mulch. That's the kind of mulch that used to be alive that's now dead. Or is it? Is it really dead?
Personally, I also use duckweed when it's available, and I use living mulch in certain places at certain times of the year.
I digress though, because this video really isn't about mulch, it's about the deeper story. Look at that list again and notice that pretty much everything on that list has to die in order to do its job.
But is it really dead, or is it just transforming? This looks like dead wood with dead leaves mixed into it. It's fairly diverse with a large variety of tree types, including hardwood, softwood, and leaves from palms, which are actually classified as a type of grass.
Yes, technically I have grass clippings in here too. Technically.
These aren't just scraps. They're bits and pieces of living things that were still growing tall and strong until just a few hours before they landed on my driveway. They were cut away from their roots, their source of life, and they were left for dead. Is this ashes to ashes? Is this dust to dust? Is this death the end of life? Or is this the beginning of something new? As these chips break down and they become dust, they release their nutrients back into the soil. The mulch provides food for the microbiology living in the soil. The mulch provides protection against the sun's UV rays for the microbiology that you can't see and for the macrobiology that you can see. The mulch helps to control erosion, which protects plant roots. It helps to control moisture, which helps plants through times of drought and flood. And it helps to insulate the soil, providing protection against the freezing temperatures in winter, as well as the scorching heat we have in Central Florida all summer long, including parts of the spring and fall. Without some type of mulch, my yard would end up looking like a dust bowl, and it's hard to keep anything alive in a dust bowl. The mulch breaks down into soil, gets absorbed into plants, and then gets cut back up into mulch again.
This is just a real full circle moment.
With vegetation, I get organic mulch. With mulch, the soil sustains growth. With a healthy soil, the plants thrive. With plants that thrive, I get more organic mulch. It's a cycle of living and the cycle of growth. So I don't want to think about these wood chips as dead plants or dead branches anymore. Dust to dust isn't about death. Ashes to ashes isn't about burned up waste product. It's about the starting point for all organic life, no matter what type of tree or shrub, if it's a little annual or a giant sequoia, if it's a prized orchid or a despised weed, no matter what type of animal, if it's an African elephant or an ant. If it's organic, it started as dust, was absorbed into organic life, and will someday break down into dust again. From there, it will be absorbed into new life. It's a cycle of life, it's a cycle of growing, and diversity is key. Even though all organic materials are lacking in something Several of them coming together create an extremely nutrient-rich covering that, as it breaks down, is slowly transforming my native Florida beach sand into a really good sandy loam soil. And as the sandy loam soil develops, the plants I'm growing produce healthier leaves for me to chop into more mulch to improve the soil even more. It's an endless cycle of improvement with every type of mulch I put under my plants. Year after year, it's consistently growing better.
While this video focused on wood chips, I don't use just that. I'm always adding more organic material to my yard. I'm always adding more mulch. Whether that's biochar or wood chips or vermicast or cardboard or duckweed, I'm adding whatever I can find in order to help add nourishment and add more resources into my yard.
So that I can keep adding the resources from those plants to grow more life in my garden. The more mulch I add, the more life I add. And the more life I add, the more my garden will grow. Dust to Dust isn't about death or endings. It's about the cycle of using the resources left by others to sustain our growth, and then leaving our resources behind to help others grow. And that's a good thing because I want to keep on growing, and you should too.